Starting another video. I'm just waiting for my stream to go through. I don't know why there is a delay of several seconds from the Facebook video to the Twitch video for some reason. Well, anyway, here I am again, William, and from another video working on an external process code to help prevent crashes on the plugin and standalone application. Well, I think this doesn't really help, actually fixes any problem with crashes, but I have to test more. So this is the 8th video in the series. You can check from the first one if you haven't already. And I already done a lot of code, the main code and the external process code. And now I'm going to create some files to put the process block and the initialization of the external process. And I'm going to put this in a separate files and also the timer callback. I'm just going to go here and create new CPP file. So process block. Let's see if I'm in the right folder. Main engine. Okay, process block. It's created. Initialize external. External is good. And also timer callback. Some people may not like to have multiple files for everything, but it's just the way I like to do this. So for this is for the main application and the plugin, which loads the external process. Close this guy up. Just some small things that I like to do. Oh, another thing I have to worry about in a minute is when you create the external process to check for which one is doing. Oh, it's already doing this in here on the registry settings. So let's move this, the initialization external. And also copy all this. Copy this to the process block. And also the timer callback. And let's get the process block out of here. And the timer callback. Let's see if it compiles correctly. No, unresolved external. I think I removed something. And process command. Complain about the same process command. Okay, those are just regular warnings. This guy, send process command. Resolved external. Oh boy. Because it is in here. Send process command. Main engine audio processor. Interesting. complain on the process block. Oh boy. Maybe because it's inline, so well, let's not make it inline then. Not really necessary. It's a very fast call. Yeah. Well, that's a first for me, but maybe that's normal, I guess. What I could do instead, I really want the inline. Just go and put this in here. Ah, play now, compiler. Okay, that's good. So I got my timer. I think I'm trying to remember why I'm using this in here, because sense, to be honest. Seconds. Should fire away immediately. It's a problem with uncommented code. Why didn't you put a comment in here? Because this doesn't make any sense. It's going to wait 80 seconds. And here it doesn't wait anything. It just starts again over. Oh boy. Now I'm going to worry about this later on. However, the second time I look at this and I can't remember why I put in that. Now the next process I have to do is the editor. What I have to do, I have to create a window for the editor, which I'm already doing in here. This should create the window. Back for the validation. And Ember. I'm just trying to remember this portion of the code, because what I'm going to have to do, well, I already have my window. Let me remove my debug window just so it's easy for me to see things up. And this window should receive a copy of the interface from the external process. It's not hard. I already have the code pretty much done. I just have to open the editor on the other guy, the external process. So what I'm going to do is also create some extra files here to help me out, because I have the main file with everything in it, and it's a bit of a mess, to be honest. So instead, let me think this over. I need to create a header file. Just going to create it and name it main header, and put on the right folder here, external headers. So that's the main header. Now I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call this thread 1. Where is it now? We put it in here. Thread 1, I don't want it in here. Okay, thread 1 and then thread 2. Thread 1 is the processing thread, and thread 2 is everything else but the processing. Right below. Else. Much shit, I guess. Thread 2 is there. Okay, let me move things around. And this way I can organize a bit better the code. Let me close everything. Pop a few things up. Now the declaration of the threads I'm going to put in the other file. Actually, all declarations, so I can copy this all from the header file. These guys. And I'm going to change a few things in a minute. It's going to give me some work now, but it's totally worth it. Forgot. I have to put the juice header file as well. What's the juice header file? I don't remember. Ah, this guy. You can also put the numerator there as well. Here. And check these. And also in there instead of the juice header file, because this guy already has the juice header file. Okay. This is going to work. At least in theory, it should work. But I still want to move a few things around. Oh boy. File. Not. Ah, put in the wrong folder. Yeah. Remove reference. And external. Where is the thread 1? Where's the thread 2? Both threads should be in here. Okay. External source, thread 1, thread 2. But now I'm curious if I created a thread 2 file somewhere else. Oh, it did. Here it is. What a mess. We have to be very careful sometimes with Producer because it's going to use the last path, and if you're not paying attention, it's going to make a mess. But it's my fault. I know. Let's try again. Okay. 1, right, 2. I already put it in there. Not the logo. I don't want to open logo. Main file. So the main file has the plugin window. I could also create another file for that. The bridge application and the 2 threads. So let's start moving the code for the threads. So this is thread 1, which is very large. This is where the processing happens. I like to use these guys as separators. So this is thread 1. I have to check out for the plugin windows. The plugin editor, sorry. It's in here. Should put this on the main code. Because I need is on thread 1. Bridge application owner. Going to be a bit complicated, but not impossible. Don't know if these work. That doesn't work. I have done this in the past. It should work. I'm going to complain. But what I can do, it creates the description of the class instead, and put this on the main header file instead. So I have my 2 threads, my public variables. So before the threads, I can put the description of the class in here, or the plugin window. This way, I should be able to go ahead and put the actual plugin variable in here. But now I have to change this. Just a bit of change on the code, but nothing so serious. It should work better. And I can move this also to a plugin editor window instead. And the same thing for the bridge bridge the application. British. Start application still goes in. This is my owner. Is the only. Oh, it's on the thread itself. Hmm. Check something. Oh, the owner is a void. It's a pointer. Processor listener. Processor listener. Because it is what I'm going to send into the code anyway, so it's not a problem. Because my bridge code application has that audio processor listener, so it's so good. Initialize, shut down, system requests quit. Instance created. Now the second thread, which is very large too, because it takes care of all the other stuff that getting parameters, dealing with the editor and stuff like that. All that goes on the second file. And we hope that I have put everything in the correct order. So now it's much easier to maintain the code. So this external application has all the Wusik engine file. So it has the whole Wusik Station version 9 code, or the Wusik Station 8008 code, or Wusik Eve code, or Wusik 1 code. Because they share the base code of the Wusik 8008, which uses the Wusik 4000 code, which I was improving every time I work it on until I got the Wusik 8008 code. So it's a lot of stuff on this code alone, like plugin hosting and stuff like that. A lot of missing links. Already defined in main object. Doing that. Already put the program once. Interesting. Let's take a look. Complaining. Thread 1 object, thread 2 object. Because I'm already calling the main H file, header file. That is. Oh, I'm putting program on the CPP. I don't do that. Let me. Should be included just one time. Maybe I don't understand exactly what the program ons does because it's not doing what I want. I declare it. Thing at the same time. Remember that one time I was doing, instead of that, there's another way. I've defined, let's say, header 2. The end if there. Usually this works best, but filter means already defined. The problem here is all those definitions in here. What to do is create a class for this. Main classes. Put that inside so I can share with the other objects. Make everything public and non-constructor. But then there's a problem with that. Problems with the creation of the, it's not default. I think. It's been a while since I have done this, so there's one place I can mimic if I want. I'm trying to think of something. Now these I don't have to initialize, to be honest. Neither I have to initialize that. I'm gonna go like these instead. Value and parameter, and then message, what I was using again. Just, oh, come on, just in case. Yeah, that should work. Then what I do, but this is going to require a lot of change to the code, but at least it's going to work. I don't actually create this in here. I leave only the class information in here. This guy also don't leave in here. I leave only the construction of the classes in here. And then the actual variables are going to declare in here instead. And that should work a bit better. But of course, now I have to put something like this for every single variable. It's not exactly great, but gives me a bit of flexibility in the code. I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. Where's the editor? This I have to fix as well. I'm just going to leave like that. but the rest should work. Well, actually, is actually I do this in the wrong order. Everything should be according to the bridge application. But where does it create the application? Creates in here. And I could take everything from the inside, and then I can just go and get the application. So get application. Use application. How can I get the application? Good question. Never done this before, so because all this should be inside the actual application. Doing this in the reverse order. So let me undo this and do this the right way. Sorry about that. The playhead is going to be inside the application. And so we have the plugin window. What a mess. Sorry about that. I have to create all these class first. Let's create this top here instead. Guy I create before anything else. Then it's going to be more organized. Plugin window already have it in here. So I can put some variables inside it instead of externally. Then I put the audio playhead in here. Then I start creating stuff out here. Go back. The timer callback to initialize. Shut down. System request quit. I can just leave it in here. This guy can leave it in here. Also, all these other guys. I should have done this before anything else. There's a truck in front of my house doing some mess. So now, instead of this ugly class I just created, sorry, I can just put this inside the application itself. What goes to the application, of course, and what goes to the editor window should go to the editor window instead. So this should work out. Have to copy also these two guys to the bridge application constructor. And I'm also going to remove the plugin window from this file, so it's easier for me to check things out. So now this, like this, then it's going to work. Set crash no handles is set there. Okay. This is all set in stone. Soon it's going to look much better. Initialize is empty. Empty. Oh, I guess I'm not using it yet, so let's just leave it empty for now. Shut down is empty. Override over here. These I don't need. These I don't need. Starting to look much more compact. There's still some problems I have to address. Not a big deal. And I have to remove the app from the folder that's going to write, otherwise the code's not doesn't get used. Wait, how here the editor. Let's put it on the main engine. External. Thread 1, thread 2, editor. Yeah, that's starting to look much better now. Let me fix my app folder. 64 bits version. Okay. Says. Oh, it's not first remove this guy. There. The edge. And copy this guy. Then I have to move these variables first time. I have to pass the plugin load to the editor. Two. Oh, not exactly. Better that it's not always on top. Experience. So let me see now the variables that I need to pass to the plugin window. Here, plugin editor goes in there. This guy first time goes to the plugin window instead. Now I have to remove this from threads. Oh, there. Just in there. I just remove this. Oh yes, I removed, but I overwrite it. Is editor ready? Any positions? And that's pretty much it. Positions. Always on there. Ready. And all these go to plugin window. I just need now pass the plugin loaded. Plugin window. Plugin loaded. To do it. Then I have to pass the variable. Also cast it as a plugin itself, which is this guy. Store if needed. It's a lot of small things that needs to be changed, but these now things are going to look much better. Oh yeah, because this is all on the application itself. So now comes the part that I don't know how to do it yet. So I just have to check how it's done. How do I get the application base? Interesting. Because it creates somewhere. Create application. I was trying to take a look at the guy. Here's the complicated part. Use application name. Use application. Use Apple. Stuff. Application. Maybe that works. It's a name. British G application. Maybe this is going to say is thread 1. The buffer. Application itself. I think I'm doing this the wrong way again. Maybe I should just be putting all this stuff in the thread itself object. Makes more sense, I guess. At least the buffer should be in there, but well, for now I'm going to leave like that. I can change this later. Not a big deal. This guy should be in there for sure. Hmm. This all has to be done like this because I'm sharing the object with two codes actually. It's okay. Now on thread 2 we're going to have the same problem, so that guy there as well. To be honest, I don't even need get from the instance of the application because since I'm creating these objects, I could just go put this on the thread itself as the owner. Using the owner for the check. Yes, the owner is already the application itself, so create this 2 times. Let me double check. Main thread owner piece. Yeah. So I don't need to do that. So instead of doing that, I can just go goes owner, because the owner is the British G application. Just so it doesn't give me some other problems that I don't know about. And at thread 2, I go with the same thing. This is the other thread owner is this. Oh, here I can do the same thing. Instead of that, I just go with the owner. Yeah, I like that. So now a few things that I could move is this variables and put on the actual thread code instead. I'm going to do this later on. Check what I'm going to be sharing and what I'm not going to be sharing. I could even create the pipes inside the threads itself, so they stay for just the thread. Well, a lot can be done to make the code look a bit better, but the working process is going to be the same, so that's why I'm not really bothering right now about that. Just want to work on the editor first, and then I can do some cleanup later. Because if you start changing a lot of stuff at the same time, the chance of missing something is much higher than just doing it one way and then redoing later. At least I like to do that the way. Just the way I have to double check if I'm zipping my status. Check quickly here. And see the state information. Yeah, I'm not zipping it. I need to fix that too, because here on the code I can check that it expects some extra information. It uses a zip format to compress the status, the state information, sorry. Because usually the data is like XML or something like that, my plugins at least. So zipping the data is actually a good idea. I don't know, I'll check that. So looks like everything's in place now. Not yet very well organized as I want, but it's a start. At least I have some stuff in here organized a bit better. This last part in here, set no handle crashes. This is for Windows, so if the external application crashes, it doesn't give you any warning. Just closes and starts again. Otherwise, it's going to show that crash dialog. On OS X is a bit different, so usually it shows a warning message or something like that. I set this, forgot to check. The app is not there. It takes so long to compile, to link actually. Let me check if it's set up to link. Link time optimization disabled. Link time optimization disabled. Well, I don't know what's going on. So it's compiling. So let's see if it's going to run. Starting the main program. Yes, something was broken during the process because it's not running. Oh boy. Error. Could not communicate. Because it was trying to launch the external process as I closed it. But why it's not working? It should be working. Changed a few things. That's why I always like to test things before anything else. So let's see what's going on here. Where's the external process? Oh, it's having a hard time loading the external process. Obviously, or well, it's obvious that something's wrong. Wrong is happening. So let's take a look again. The bridge application. Everything's created in here. Timer callback. So I start my main thread. Set my owner to this object. This guy. To be good. Oh, this I can remove. It's not a problem, it's just removing because it's silly to be in there. Process here, load everything in here. Oh, I guess I have to try to debug this, but this is external process. Sounds like it's quitting before anything else or just crashing. Just one thing I like to do before I start chasing ghosts is to rebuild everything. I just do a rebuild solution just in case. Which are not using yet. Steam. A long time to compile. So let me think what could be going on. Check if process the process is getting created in the right folder. Yeah, there it is. So let me try this guy again. Something's happening. You can see that it's opening and closing. Hmm. Mm. Since this is going to be hard to attach for debugging, because the main game is going to keep calling it, I could change, put a series of change on the code to allow me to check that, but I'm just going to put some alert values and see where it's really going crazy. Just easier in my experience. All over the place. And still trying to run. Get stuck. In here. Bad. Okay. Does that. Could be on the process because seems that it's crashing before it even starts processing anything. Now I'm going to try to debug this because helping me out. I have to create the debug file in here. 64 bits. Debug. And disable optimizations always. And I have to change the output folder because it's always creating as app. Debug 64. App. Let's compile this. Now here I have to change because my timer callback is going to reinitialize the process if it's not running. Actually, it's not going to do anything, and that's going to be okay. Just putting an alert on the start so I can fire up the code, start looking on the first processing. What I have to do? Fire this guy and attach to the process here instead. The Wusik station version 9. This is the one. Ctrl Alt P. Where is my external process? That didn't work, I guess. Try again in a different way. Oh, I forgot to put something in this code here before it started threads, of course. Then I can going to wait. Now I can go Ctrl Alt P, Wusik processor external, and I can close the alert box, and it's going to go to the what happened here? What? I think it's trying to open the window, the plugin window. So where is it now? Where is it? Right there in the water. Okay. Again. Fine. Alert box, Ctrl P. Processor. What's it trying to do now? Doesn't matter. Stop. It's not calling my breakpoint in here. Interesting. Because this guy is waiting for the response of something while I was debugging, so just halted. Oh boy. So good. Prepare to play. Code is trying to run. A mess. It's trying to do now. Oh, it's closing my application already. Okay. Let me try again. Oh, that's not going to work. That's going to crap everything out. Huh. So let me think. What what have I changed? It's so bug is not going to help me out as much as I wanted. Another thing I sometimes do when I can't figure out a way to debug, just create a file. And then I just try to put something in the file itself so I know what's the last thing it was doing before it crashed. Let's say process one, buffer size, sends the pipe information, get some information out, automation, finishes up. Here's the prepare to play. Let's try this. Maybe it gives me more information than the debug does. Another way to do this is to process just the first processing pipe command for the process. Well, the host is still expecting something, so that's why this works best, because this is going to be called several times. I mean, in the bug, it's just going to pile one call to the next one, and it's going to be a big mess of calls. At least in theory, but maybe not. Just going to see what happens. Oh, the problem is that I'm deleting the file. But it's going to delete every time it runs again, and that's not good. Let me compile again without the delete. Okay. See. Okay. I've removed that alert. Is it again? Need that anymore? Damn. Okay, it runs the external process and crashes. Run and crashes. Want to prepare to play. Oh, it's not even processing anything. Weird. Let's take a look at the prepare to play code. Hmm. Interesting. I'm creating the audio processor here. Maybe just my playhead is not correctly. Anyway, getting stuck in this code. Interesting. Just in case, let me check. The initialize process. What I do here? By processing, initialize the external process. Send event. Do the prepare to play. Probably doing this on the timer callback. I'm doing this. Access block. Oh yeah, here it is. Sends the sample rate, the last samples per block expected. This guy crashes after that. Um, ideas. So who is right these variables so I can check if they're not something crazy, I don't know. Case. I don't have the tree. Well, that's okay. I remember what I was doing. It should be okay. Oh, if I run this out, see the greatest and closest several times the main engine. I can take a look again at my debug. Oh, the two numbers are okay. Or here where the magic happens. Now there's something happening that I have no idea what it is. But it could be related to this. Maybe this is not correct. So instead, I'm going to do this in a different way. Just in case, maybe that's wrong, but find something else in here. So it's application instance. Give me a better result. Okay, that's nice. So now I'm getting the actual pointer for the application instead. Maybe that's the problem. I was getting from the constructor. Choose now. Wait on my keyboard. And fix my latency settings in here. Ugh, it's nasty. It's worse. But at least it's working, so now I know what's going on. Oh yeah, the process is is writing to a file, so of course it's going to be ugly and slow. Let me remove that. I'm actually going to leave that because it's handy to have that. Just going to leave everywhere in case I have problems again. And just go and uncomment for these guys. Oops, not this guy. That's why I was running so slow. So that's it. I made a mistake on the constructor. I was getting the memory handle during the constructor, and that's not a good. Now it's working correctly. Let's take a look now. Call, let me close it. And it opens right away. And if I close it from here, it's going to leave open. And that's something I want to check out. Because there is a call called system callout. That's not the name. Shut down system request to quit. And I want to check if what I'm doing on the main code for that. This is a plugin. Oh, sorry, I just hit the microphone very hard. I can see the external process just closed it by itself. It's not a big deal, but I don't like that. I know the Juice application, when you create a standalone filter, gives you a few options. So I wonder the audio processor, because this is not an application per se. Let me try something. SQ200 was not working before, but the Wusik P2000 was working. So let me insert it in here. See what happens when I close it up. As you can see, it's running the bridge, and from the bridge, the external process. Closing, and it's leaving the external process hanging. Same thing happens with this, so see better what's happening. Station version 9. Hold on this thing. This code's not working correctly. I'm going to check this later on for the SQ200. But I changed something and I haven't finished it up, so that's why it's not working. But what I'm thinking, it's not calling my destructor. I don't get that. On the plugin, at least, aspect of the, not calling the destructor. Just weird. I already tried this to check what happens, but it just doesn't get called. I don't know if my code itself on the Wusik P2000, which is actually the same code for my hosting code, is, yeah, it's not being called. It doesn't do anything. That's no good. So I wonder if the problem is my code. Try Sonar again. During the scanning, it did call the destructor. Interface Sonar. Let me check. I don't remember which one is which one, so I just want to call this one. Okay, that's the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the one. So now let me close this up and see what happens. Yes, call it. I guess I'm doing something wrong on my removal of the plugin from the Wusik P2000. Or maybe it's not actually the Wusik P2000 code, but the bridge code. Check my plugins manager. No bridge option in here. I don't know why it's bridging all the time. Shouldn't be bridging all the time. It's because I changed something on the code, so well, I'm going to fix this eventually on the next version. But the online version is working. It's just my computer version. It's something that I'm messing on, and that's why it's not working. So I don't know why I keep worrying about this. But okay, so the code, I organize it a bit better, so now I can start working with the stuff that is missing.